Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Philanthropy. On today's episode, we have a guest who is going to tell us some of his life history, and he's going to share with us how he learned to love himself after he experienced abuse. So, welcome, Bobby Awasis. He told me his Cree name, and I'm going to try and say it, and if I say it wrong, he'll correct me. Papamasoino. Is that right? Papamasoino. Okay, that means wandering spirit. I was practicing a little bit before we started. And so welcome to Bobby. He is willing to sit down with us and share with us some of the lessons he learned in his life starting from childhood. Welcome, Bobby. How are you today?
Oh, good afternoon there, Jessica. Nice to meet you. Nice to be here with you this afternoon, and for the people too, the people that are listening. I welcome all of you. Um, yeah, I wanted to start off with my childhood life, and I'm going to talk about child abuse. Um, because I think it's very important that we talk about this. I was brought up in a foster home, not far from Lloydminster, Onion Lake. And I stayed there till I was 13 years old. They brought me into that home in 1963. And what I remember in that home, I remember the good and the bad. The good was they taught us how to work. They taught us how to do hard work. Because back then we used to haul water. We used to chop wood, saw wood, get wood in the bushes, berry picking, Saskatoons, whatever, pinch cherries, blueberries, chokecherries. Those were the good old days. And we always stayed outside as children. We were never allowed indoors as children. They always kicked us out. So, and I was spoiled, I remember, with my father. He's deceased now. I remember. And then after that, when his grandson came into the picture, I was probably about 5, 6 years old then. When his grandson came into his real grandson came into the picture, he picked me up and he threw me down the hallway and he disowned me. I was no longer his favorite. So, but I loved him. I wanted his attention because he always gave me attention as a father until the grandson came in. I wanted to be that family's last name. I'm not going to mention it, but I wanted to be that family's last name. I wanted to be that part of that family. I I just loved them. I loved that family, no matter what I went through, no matter all the abuse that I went through. I remember as a young man, as a young boy, I should say, sawing wood, sitting on a log at the age of 5 years old, 4 years old, while my brother is sawing wood. There was three of us siblings in that same family. I'm the youngest. So then where the where the abuse started happening was probably about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Um, I used to wet the bed a lot, and my mom made strawberry mattresses back then, straw baled mattress, and I would see those hanging outside when I come home from school. I remember that. When we get home from school, we always took our school clothes off and got into our work clothes, our outside clothes. And my mom had a whip waiting for me, a willow, and it literally would beat the hell out of me with it. And she'd throw me in a room. She would lock the door from the outside with no supper. I remember that very clearly. I was so scared with fear. This not only happened once, this happened numerous times. I was scared. Scared for my life because I thought I was going to die the way I was being treated. So then I would urinate in a closet out of fear because I didn't want to knock on a door out of fear and for them to let me use the washroom. And there were times when she would literally hit us with brooms, mops, us children. And I'd break those brooms over my head and mop handles over my head. I have 14 scars on top of my head, all over the place, everywhere, being cut open. That was their way of punishing us, my mom. So with that, I was scared. I, you know, scared to make my wrong mistakes doing things. And she would bang, those sharp corners, those old sharp corners back in the day, those counters. She would literally, I used to always have a brush cut, but she would literally bang my head into that corner and cut me open. And then she'd let me bleed and send me to bed. That's how it was. I tried telling this story to numerous people where I came from, where I was brought up, but they didn't believe me. They thought I was lying, talking gibberish, but I wasn't lying. This is what was really going on in my home. So, you know, like I said, with all that abuse going on, you name it, it was in that house. Sexual abuse, violence, any kind of abuse you could think of. Verbal abuse, being told you're no good for nothing. You'll never accomplish anything. You're ugly. These are the things that was fed probably on a daily basis by my parents and my foster family. So, I thought to myself, well, and another thing too is we used to eat last, us foster kids. We used to eat last. And sometimes there would be nothing but scraps to eat on the table. But because we were so hungry and we wanted to eat, we ate what we could. This is back in the 60s I'm talking about. This is not the 90s or the 2000s or nothing. This is the 60s. And sometimes my mom would say, go feed the dogs. There would be a big bowl of bones and everything like that. And I'd go. And I'd go eat with the dogs. I'd eat all that meat that's left over on the bones. I would eat that on the side of the house. Then I would give him just the bone because I was hungry. Tanawa, Bobby. Where's Bobby? My mom would yell. Eat the mill, Marcy. Tosamat at the mohawk. He's outside feeding the dogs. Matissa donas. Go get him. And I'd be on the side of the house eating with the dogs. You know, because I'm hungry. We always had to do dishes, sweep floors. We were like little slaves. We were like little slaves in that house. We did everything. Haul water from the slough, haul water from the well. Sometimes you have to go a quarter of a mile to haul water. Haul snow for a reservoir, wood stove. All that stuff we did. That was good. Taught us how to work anyways. I seen abuse with my own eyes. What happened to my sister when my foster family would literally sexually assault her. The whole works of them. Mom, dad, brothers. But I cried behind the couch. I was young. I was only about 6, 7 years old. And I would cry behind the couch out of fear. And I hear my sister howling upstairs, crying. I cry for her. That's what I'm talking about. Some of this stuff might be heavy, but this is what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I went through. I only speak nothing but the truth when you want to hear what I have to say. There's no lying here. This is what happens. But we also blame it on the residential schools prior, with my mom and dad going to residential school too, the way they were taught. They must have had a lot of hate, a lot of anger. And yet they were trying to bring foster children into their home. And we happened to be one of them, part of the bundle. My mom was a hard worker, my foster mom. She cooked, cleaned, did clothes, washing machines, those old washing machines with the roller in it, did all that. I watched her. I watched her get beaten up by my foster dad. Literally thrown down the stairs, top stairs, all the way down to the bottom stairs. Lucky she didn't die. This is through alcohol.
Hmm.
Alcohol. Because my dad and mom, they would drink. And my foster brothers would look after us. And they would go get groceries, come home. All the groceries would be in the yard. My dad threw them out. Beer, bottles everywhere. Cops were scared to come to our place because my dad was up island, man. My dad would literally throw those cops around. That's when those cops vehicles only had one light. on top of the vehicle, one light. We go get the cops. Whose place? Name the place. No, I don't want to go. That they know what's going to happen to them. But they were scared of my dad, you know, because he was violent, especially underneath the influence of alcohol. But you couldn't find a kinder man when he was sober. He was so kind. But that alcohol just threw him, made him into a beast, you know.
Was that
So
your
I think
birth
about
father?
that's my foster father, my
Oh,
foster
that was your
dad.
foster father?
And this one talking about my foster home here.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was brought up in Onion Lake for 12
Right.
years. 12 years. I left when I was 13. So all those things I'm talking about,
Mm.
you know, they, I went through it. The hardship. I went through the good things too, because they were a good family too.
Hmm.
Not bad. No. Yeah, they had their bad points, what I talked about, but they had their good points too. They were loving. Maybe I was confused. Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. But when I was 13 years old, I was bringing in heater wood, and I happened to drop one. You know those old fridges used to have a pan in the bottom, a pan, and that pan fell, and it startled my mom. And my mom was gonna grab one of those things that you poke the stove with, wood stove,
Mm.
steel. She was gonna hit me with that. I dropped all my heater wood. Go ahead, do it. Here we pagomo it. Here, look at him. He's gonna hit me. Wait, get out of here. The boy there. Get out. Get out. So it was about 30 below zero outside, 35 below zero. I got all my winter gear together and I walked. And my brother followed me, my older brother. We walked from there, from Onion Lake, down back road towards Frenchman Butte. And then we caught a ride. This old guy, Gus Waskers, picked us up and took us to my grandpa and grandma in Spruce Lake, Alberta. That's where I met my family. It was good. That's where I met my family, my real family. So I experienced lots with them too. Started to get into the wild side, the drugs, the booze, you know, just living a wild life as a young kid. You know, then I ended up in another foster home after that. In North Battleford, went to a conference high school um, as a boarder. I boarded in North Battleford. I went to comp, and after that, I went to another foster home, Little Pine, Saskatchewan. Now, and I was brought up on a farm and a ranch. Oh man, that was beautiful. I
Mm.
experienced bailing. I experienced driving truck there, standard. I rode one of the fastest, best horses on that reserve. His name was Tequila. He was a thoroughbred. Oh man, he was awesome, man. I used to ride him bareback and with the saddle. He tried throwing me off first time I rode him. I wouldn't let him throw me off. Then I ran him in a field and half a mile. And there was the fences locked. So I had to pull the reins and turn him right around and do it again. And finally we got to where we're at and I slowed him down and got off him, headed him and walked him around. After that, he was my riding horse. Yeah. So me and him got along great after that, and I was happy. I was brought up with the night traveler family in Little Pine.
Mm.
They were beautiful people. Both of those people are deceased. The old lady and the old man. The brother, my foster brother, is deceased. They only got their sons and their daughters left. My foster brothers, foster sisters. But man, I experienced lots up there, man. It was good. I learned to be happy. You know, I learned they never abused us, never said nothing to me, no hurtful words. I felt love there.
Mm.
Felt like, hey, what did I find here? I stayed with them for about 3 years, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Living that farm life, stooking bales, running combine, running swather, you know, just all that stuff that goes with ranch work, farm work. I did all that. Then after that, then I went to there were there was an application for Tabor, Alberta, potato bin, working in a potato bin, sorting out potatoes.
Mhm.
I applied for that. I was 17 years old, and I got it. So I went to work in Tabor. And then when I got my first paycheck, we were partying at a house, and I tried to make it in the bar numerous times, but I kept getting kicked out. I was too young then, and they just kicked me out. Finally, they told me, go back to the house. We'll drink there. Okay. I went back to that street. Boy, all those houses were identical. I thought, holy man, which one is it? So I went into my yard and I went inside that house. It was all, it was all clean. Last time I left this place not too long ago, there was beer balls everywhere and there was no furniture. Really. So I walked in there and an old man came out. He had a broom. He was going to hit me with it. I backed up. I opened up the drawer and I hit the utensils. I held a butcher knife towards him. I didn't use it. I just held it towards him. Then I ran. Then the cops caught up to me a few blocks later in the back alley. They, I tried to run a picket fence, but I jumped that picket fence and caught on my zipper, and my pants just broke all the way down, right down to my ankles. Just split. I got up again. I was gonna run. I hit that garage because it was dark. I
Mm.
slammed into that garage, and they cuffed me. That time I got a year. B&E, theft of a knife and assault. I copped out to it. I didn't want to stay in rehab. That was the start of my doing time. But I had a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger. I was angry against women. I was very insecure, very jealous. I was a lot of things that were happening to me. I couldn't hold a relationship down. I wasn't in a relationship yet, but I got out when I was 18. I did my time in the old Lethbridge, the old jail, not the new one, the old jail, the old Lethbridge. That time they had big cell block and everything like that. 3, 4 tiers up, you know, solid place. Your cell was the length of your arm and about 5 feet, 6 feet long, seven, not long, not big. That was your cell. So I did a year in there. I got along good with the Blackfoot. Blackfoot and Crees weren't supposed to get along. But
Yeah.
this one Blackfoot guy came up to me. His name was Peter Bells. He came up to me and he said, Dante. I looked at him. I'm 17 years old. I said,
Yep.
Mananto. He said, I'm not Cree. He said, I'm Blackfoot. Oh, okay, come on in. And I had a bunch of canteen I bought. Bought a lot of canteen. Gave him cigarettes, I gave him pop, whatever. I got along good with him. My time was good inside there for that whole year, from December till August. But anyways, I got out. Then I met my mother, my real mother. For the first time in my life, I met her. She was nine. I was 19 years old. I was 18 years old when I first met her. I never wanted to see her, never, because she disowned us.
Mm.
Never wanted to see her. My brother said, "Go see her. She's here." She came from Seattle, Washington. So I went and seen her. When I first seen her, she was smoking a joint. She was an old lady. I thought that was kind of right on. I'm seeing my mom, smoking a joint. Uh, so I took off with them. Like I'm a wandering spirit. I'm the one that goes around everywhere. You want somewhere to go? I'll go. Nothing holding me back. So, and I went to Seattle, to Tacoma, Washington. I met myself a little honey on the power trail. So, and we took off together. I went and lived with her in Tacoma, Washington. That was back in 1980. And I traveled that area, 80, 81, 82, and 83 in Vancouver, Penticton, Okanagan area. But I was a violent man. I was into drugs. I was into alcohol. I was into parties. I was a very insecure man, too. Very jealous, very angry. And I thought I was ugly. And I thought I was no good for nothing. I thought I never could accomplish anything. But that was drilled into my head. And all these women that I'm meeting up with, they're telling me, "You're a handsome young man. You're handsome." You know, but I couldn't find that handsomeness in me, even though I was a good looking young man. I was. You've seen pictures of me before, man. You said, wow, he was, you know, but this is old now, elderly. So I couldn't hang on to any relationships. I literally hurt my woman, abused them, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I'm not proud to say that, but I did it. And I believe all that stems from my childhood. Because I wasn't working on myself. Never worked on myself. I just kept on with life. When life offered them. And I was a fighter. You know, anybody had a beef with me, let's go. Right now. I'm there. Let's go. You know. Win and lose. I won, I lose. But I always stood up for myself. You know. But through all that, from 83 to 91, I was stuck in a provincial system in Saskatoon and Regina. I got 18 months there for robbery with violence. And after I got out of there in 85, I went to the pen, Drumheller. 5.5 years I did there. Same thing, robbery charges. So that's where my violence was, because I needed to support my addiction, because I had an alcohol addiction. I needed to support that. And those people that I hurt, I literally hurt them. They were black and blue. You know, men, just to just for a few dollars. Just to support my addiction. That's who I was. So I tried working on myself when I was in the system, taking programs and things like that to help myself. But it didn't work out that way. 91, when I got out, I experienced something. I'll tell you a good experience that I experienced. 1990, I went to a ceremony. My brother was working on Fort Mackay that time, and I was up in Fort Mackay. And I went to stay with him because I had to go stay somewhere because I'm coming from a federal system, eh?
Mm-hmm.
And that was part of my parole. So I went and stayed with him. And I was on the run that time too. I went on a run. And then I experienced, in 91, I experienced the grandfather's spirits. A guy named, he's from Kihiwan. He's deceased now. Peter Chache. That's the one that gave me my Indian name. His grandfathers gave me my Indian name, Papa Machawino.
Mm-hmm.
He was there. They told me, go turn yourself in. The grandfathers told me in that ceremony in the sweat. We'll be there. Sachni Nanekta Hayanan. We'll be there. So I came back to Edmonton. And my girlfriend, I was going out with a parole officer back then. And my girlfriend and we went to the remand center and I went to turn myself in. I went to the front desk and I told them, I'm a federal inmate. I'm here to turn myself in. I had about 6 or 8 months left to do on my bid day. Then when I walked up there, I started to shed in tears. Tears were coming out of my eyes. And that police officer said, what are you crying for? Don't cry. Then all of a sudden, the whole system broke, shut down. Computers, everything. They said, our system is down. Can you come back in about 20 minutes? So I left, came back, system was still down. And then told me, go sit over there. So I went and sat there for about a half an hour. Then they called me. Awasis. I said, yeah, we do have a warrant for you. Okay, now I'm happy, eh? I'm happy. My spirit's happy. Everything's happy. I go downstairs, wait downstairs in cells. A couple hours. Next thing you know, cop comes and gets me and takes me down the breezeway to the remand center, the old remand center downtown. So I'm going and I asked him, how much time do I have left? I'm not supposed to do this, he says, but I'll check. He said 3 days. You're out tomorrow. I said, no way. So I went in there, put my street clothes on, went to the 4th floor, told my story to the boys up there, and then I came back down that next day. They called me, put on my street clothes, and they called me out with my effects and led me out the back. And I was a free man. Never heard of it since. But that's where the grandfathers were helping me.
Hmm.
They shut that system down. That's why I believe in our culture. I believe in our way of life. And that's what turned my life around. There was something greater than me, greater than anything else. But year 2000 is when I really changed my ways. I started being Oscapios, elder's helper for my brother. I don't know if you know him. His name is Dale Awasis. Yeah. I started being Oscapios for him. And I started to learn. Before, I always spoke English. And since 2000 to now, I speak Cree now. I know how to speak Cree now because I listened, because I practiced. That one time, 2003, there was a spirit waiting outside the sweat lodge. And the grandfather said, "Oh, yeah, te pita guetota, te pe peak squid. There's someone waiting outside. Out that we wants to come in and speak." That's mom's food to make. Kaya pigota. The ones that are in here, you guys can talk amongst each other when you open the door. So we opened the door. We talked about it. Said, "Bring them in." First one he came up to was to me, Bobby. Bobby. He called me Bobby. He didn't call me by my Indian name. "I know you. Strain Tanoma. I drank with you 20 years ago. And I was back in 1983. And I was here in Musquetees." And he said, "Where they put me, it's not a good place." He said, "They put me in my grave. And I'm stuck there for eternity. For life. Itumuan." He said, "I wish I knew the things that I know now. I would have changed my life while I was walking Mother Earth." You have a chance, Bobby, to turn your life around. You have a chance. Turn your life around. Because when you're dead and gone, that everything's cut off. You cannot turn your life around. That's why it's important we do good. He opened my eyes. He opened my thinking. And he said, when he was leaving, "I was very abusive to women. I even helped kill a man. And I didn't live a good life when I was here, when I was walking this earth. That's why they put me in my grave." I believe that. That's what helped me take a good look at myself, to turn my life around, to help myself. The spiritual path, the way of life, the nihil gagi sumunuma. That's what changed me. Not AA and A, not going to programs, but the grandfathers, the spirits, and the people working with me, that they were dead honest with me. They didn't let me go with nothing. Achim so, they would tell us, tell us the truth about yourself. And I'd have to tell the people inside the sweat lodge, and there's many. I'd have to tell my story, and I'd have to be honest. I wanted to be a little mouse and crawl out of that sweat lodge. I didn't want people to see me because I was so ashamed of myself, because of how I lived my life, because I worked for the demon before 2000. I was 38 years old. I worked for him right from when I was a child. Right till when I started getting in trouble, when 13, 14, I worked for him. All those years I worked for him. I did his work. But this is what helped me change spirituality. Dino Scorpios handling the pipe at feasts, smudging the prints, praying, singing, sweats, singing, praying, learning my tongue. Sun dances, same thing, learning my tongue, helping out at sun dances, tying prints so they can go on a tree, and all that work, making the sun dance happen, digging holes. I did that. It's hard work. It's hard to be indigenous. It's not easy. Moi weche sinoma. It's not easy. But at the end, we earn. We earn a lot from it. We earn a lot from Creator. Because Creator, He blesses us with good things. He blessed me with my tongue. Now I could speak Cree. He blessed me with singing. I can sing loud, good, clear songs. And I'm a good singer. When I first started off, all I did was yell. You know, the grandfathers would always tell me, meaning keep trying hard. Then at one time they came in and they said, Papa Masuino, o tanigana se wa patama, we tanigamoinoma, uta in front. We see you're going to be a good singer. That was years down the road, 10 years. Then they finally came in again, Papa Masuino, not long ago, about 8 years ago. You reached that point. We told you you were going to be a good singer. Now, you're there. You sing good now. You have a good voice. I go around singing at sun dances too now. Yeah, I help out as much as I can. I help out at ceremony. I even have my own ceremony here. I have my own lodge here, my home. But I earned all of that. I didn't just grab it and say, it's mine. I've been working at this since 2000. And I got 13 years of sobriety. And I'm honest. And I'm trusting. You don't see me posting on Facebook everything I do. I don't. It's none of your business. But I know who I am. I don't brag. But seeing this is alive, I want people to know you can change your life and there's accomplishments you can make for your future. Today, before, when I lived here in Musqueam, I've been here over 30 years, 30 plus years. I was a drunk. I was a violent man. I had no respect. I had respect from people that drank and did what I did, but I never had no respect from the elders, from the people that were straight culture, ways. I had no respect from them because they knew who I was. But now today, I have respect. I remember the grandfathers telling me, Papa Masumino, kaya tapasi, because I wanted to leave to Vancouver. I wanted to go start a new life. That's what my thinking. Get away from all this. The grandfathers told me, kaya sapuite, Papa Masumino, don't leave. Said, what you're going to leave behind will follow you. Everything that you're trying to leave is going to follow you. You can't hide. You cannot hide. No matter where you try to go, you can't hide. It's going to follow you. So I stuck it out. Now today, I have the respect of the community. I have the respect of the elders, of the people. Young people, old people, people shaking my hands, happy to see me. Because they see me at ceremonies. They see me sitting at feasts. They see me dancing, sun dancing. They see me fasting. They hear about fasting. They hear about all these things about me. They hear I have a ceremony. And I speak to them in my tongue, in our tongue, the Cree language. And they like that. They like that. That's how I changed.
Mm.
I took a look at myself. Itugap yan. I opened my eyes. Ganawa soan. Meaning, I took a good look at myself. Now, today, I can honestly say that I can look at myself in the mirror and say, I love you, Bobby. I have a round dance tomorrow night where I'm going to go sit as an elder. Here,
Mm.
you know? So I have things, it's there. That way, you know, right now I don't have employment or anything like that, but I make do. I don't have a vehicle right now because I'm going to throw it in the shop tomorrow morning. But those are just material.
Mm.
As long as I have my spirit, this is what will take me a long ways. Why we do Taiguan? It's a Jakawa, a Jaka spirit. Why long ways? We do Taiguan. It's going to take me a long ways. Material stuff is not everything.
Mm.
It's nice to have, but it's not everything. Human, you can never replace that. And a lot of our relatives are going on before us.
Mhm.
I see a lot of my friends, my bros, right from your area, right from Onion Lake, Thunder Child, Puguite, Sweet, all over the place, passing away. And I hear about it.
Mhm.
And all I could do is sit here and pray. Pray for them. So they go home to the land where it's good to go see the ones that have went on before them to make it there. But not all of us are going to make it. The ones that keep working the negative life, that die that way, they're going to suffer. That's why they say, Ganawimso, Tukape. Open your eyes. Take a good look at yourself. That's why they tell us that. Turn your life around. Don't speak bad about people. Ah, because you can hurt that person that you're speaking bad about. Or else you can hurt your family. You could hurt your children. You could hurt your husband. I know you got a boyfriend now, so you could hurt him too. You know.
Mhm.
So think about the ones that are closest to you. That's why they say, Piatek, get doing upsita. Piatek. Take it easy with what comes out of here. What's said is said. You cannot erase it.
Mhm.
Did you hear that?
I did. Thank you. Very powerful lessons. I
Yeah.
was wondering if you ever came across any of the people that you hurt in the past, and if
That's
you
what
ever.
I'll tell you right. I'll tell you right now.
Sure.
My abuser, my mom, when she was still alive, I was living up in Janvey that time with another woman. And we made a trip down here to Onion Lake. And I approached my mom with prints, tobacco, sweetgrass, and a big stack of prints, all the colors, tobacco and prints. I approached her and I told her I come in a good way. All that stuff I've been telling you about your sons, what they were doing, that was the truth. We weren't lying. This was just recently. This was back in about 97. Then she said, and I told her everything. And I told her about the abuse. And then she said, I'll take these prints. I'll go hang them. Now that you told me everything, now what I want you to do, my son, he says, go work on yourself. Go work on yourself. The damage is done, but go work on yourself. That's what she told me. And I did that to my foster brother too. Same thing, prints, tobacco, and sweetgrass. The same day that I wouldn't see my mom. And I told him to. And I made him cry. He cried in front of me. I said, I come in a good way now. Hey, baby, swatan. I come to talk to you. And I started talking to him. And I told him, I'm a man now. I was only about, 27 years old back then? Or so, in my 30s, something like that. But I was young. And I told her, and I told him, try and pick me up and throw me into the woodpile like you used to. Pick me up over your shoulder and throw me down on the floor. Try and do those things. Spit in our food and make us eat it. Try and do those things. He couldn't say nothing. He cried. I made him cry. Because he remembers. He's not da. A lot of hurtful things he's done to where I had to go out and seek for help. But after I did that, by confronting both of them, because they were the only ones that were still alive, the other ones are gone, deceased. So after that, today I phone my brother and I say, I always tell him, I love you. At the end of our conversation, I'll speak with him for an hour and a half, and I'll say, I love you. As I do. My foster brother. I forgave him. And he forgave me. I asked for that. And I love my foster family. No matter what kind of hurt and pain I went through with them, I loved them. I don't hate them. You know, but they were sick. They were sick in their own ways. Made me sick too. I lived that sick life too. Because I adapted to it. I adopted it. I had to break from it. And this is what broke me, spirituality. Now, you think the grandfathers would give me my pipe directions, the spirits, if they didn't forgive me for for my past, for what I did? They gave me my pipe directions, the grandfathers, not man. Man did not give me my pipe directions. They gave me my pipe directions. Gave me my sweat lodge. The spirits, grandfather wind, gave me my sweat lodge. Not man. I fasted in my sweat lodge 4 days and 4 nights. And my lodge is just down here. I earned that through all my hard work of being an Oscapios, being an elder's helper, And everything I do today, I earned that.
Mhm. That's really
Anything else?
amazing and that's really inspiring. I was wondering um, if there's anybody out there right now and maybe they're living like a negative lifestyle, or, they're maybe struggling and having abusive relationships too. What advice would you give to them? How could they find cultural people if they don't know any?
My advice with them would be is uh, this is what worked for me to change my life around. I went through the spirituality. I started off as being an elder's helper. Find an elder, somebody that you can work with,
Mm,
because they're all over.
mm,
And someone you can work with, somebody that can talk to you, somebody that can give you advice, someone that you can be honest with, that you can trust. Find somebody like that, and try and learn your language. If they don't speak the language, try and learn it. You know, because I'll tell them, I never knew how to speak Cree before 2000. They still pay Kakashi when I got skitan in the I always spoke English, and I never could speak Cree. But I knew Tsuma gateway in the today. I now I can speak Cree.
mm,
That's through this. And be honest with yourself. Trust yourself. Forgive yourself. You know what you did in your past. Ask for forgiveness. Start bringing in prints to the for the grandfathers, for the grandmother. Ask for forgiveness from the grandmother. Bring a pink print for her. Always, you know, for your kigweme, your namesake, if you have a name, or go get a name.
mm.
Get yourself a name, because that name is going to carry you into the spirit world. Not Jessica. They're not going to come down here and say, "Hey, Jessica, we come to get you." They want to hear a native name. That's why it's
Mm,
important you go get one at a Sundance or a
mm,
lodgement. Someone that has grandfathers, get a name. Because there was a name waiting for you before you were even born.
mm,
Mine was Papa Masawino. That was there before I was born. They knew I was going to be a wandering man, go all over the place, everywhere. I've been everywhere. Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, States, my travels. But now I settle down,
mm,
you know. But but I'm not afraid to get up and go either. And I always call on my man. I always call on the wind day. Come and help me. And I called him here to come and sit with me so I could
mm,
speak good, so I could talk good.
mm,
Steve. Yeah. Now I would tell that young man, stay sober, stay clean.
mm,
I would tell that person, trust yourself and be honest with yourself. When you talk to people, be honest with your life, your traumas, because people will understand.
mm,
Maybe people went through the same thing you went through and they'll relate to you. You know, a lot of us just like to talk about what's better, good, and all that, and never mind the naked, never mind what's you should be really talking about.
mm,
You know, you know, voice yourself. Another good way too is when you're doing a circle, pass an eagle feather around. in all honesty, and pick a subject and get them to trust you, get them to to speak. And there's no right and wrong. There's no right and wrong. We all went through a life. Whatever life you went through, talk about it. That's the only way you're going to get well. You don't talk about it, you're not going to get well.
Hmm.
You got to deal with it. You got to go head on with it. You got to talk to the creator because there is a creator. I call him creator. I don't call him God. I call him creator. Ego kimosumnog, mantotos kahagman, grandfathers, creator's helpers. They're there. Isiguog, angels. We communicate with all of them. So they're always listening. They're listening to me right now, talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
I know they are. I know they are. Because that's how much faith I have. I didn't smudge for nothing. You know, I didn't pray for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I asked for them to come, listen, guide me so I can finish this hour off,
Hmm.
you know, and hopefully you benefit from it. And hopefully I said enough that'll help you with your whatever you want, whatever you're seeking. And if you want to do it again, let me know.
Hmm.
I'm open to whatever.
Okay.
If you want to bring me down there somewhere, bring me down then. Like to talk, to the
Well,
people.
mm,
Do you understand what
well,
I'm
you know
saying?
what? Yes, I do. You know what? I'm really grateful that you were able to come here today and to share your story. And your life was a very incredible life story, and how, you took what had happened to you and you transformed it, with the power of your ceremony and spirituality and creator's help. And I think that was a really powerful message. I think a lot of people will, exactly what you said, if you share your story and you give voice to it, then other people might connect because they maybe have experienced something similar. And so I'm very grateful to you that you took this time with all of us today to share with us and give us some inspiration, and really help us to develop our relationship with creator and our faith to help us to get through, even for a podcast for 1 hour. Like you said, the spirits were here to help us, and I think that came through really loud and clear. So I'm really grateful to you for that. Thank you. Hi, hi.
Hey, boy, it's come down to I give thanks to you too.
Hmm.
Now I made a friend.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what they call
Well,
me on Tik? You know what they call me on TikTok?
what?
They call me TikTok Elder. They just like hearing what I say, eh?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. You should
So
do your own
people,
live. You should do
oh,
your own live,
people,
they tell me.
yeah, people can listen to you on TikTok then, I guess, or
Oh
on
yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I got my name
Mm,
as Wandering Spirit on TikTok.
on TikTok and on Instagram too?
On Instagram is Windy Boy.
Okay. And then on Facebook, your name is
Bob Awasis.
Bob Awasis. Okay. So if people want to
I
connect
comment
to
on
you, they
I,
can
I
find
comment
you.
on you on Facebook too.
Yes. Yes. And so
Yeah,
people will know how to find you now if they need to reach out to you. So thank you so
definitely.
much for sharing.
You're
And
welcome. We did it, man. We got her done.
we did. We did. It was a really good episode, and I'm so grateful to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your time and your wonderful words of wisdom. That was really powerful. And I wish you the best of luck in everything that you do. And yeah, maybe you'll come back on another day and talk about something else. That would be really cool, also.
Yep. Whatever, we can discuss that offline somewhere if
Okay,
you
that
want.
sounds okay. That
All
sounds
right.
good.
Hey, you
All
have a good
right.
day. Enjoy yourself. And Mulgi Skansene. Have a good day.
Yeah. Hi, hi, you
Hey,
too.
hey, what's up?